Where the hell are you? I took a deep, centering breath, looking out my apartment window at the gentle Portland rain. It was a world away from the blistering Arizona sun where my family was currently gathered. I kept my voice unnervingly level. I'm in Portland, where it seems you all prefer me to be. There was a sputter, a gasp of incandescent rage. This is your brother's wedding, Mark. Your twin brother. How could you do this? How could you embarrass us like this? The guests would all be there by now. Milling around, looking at the empty chair next to my dad, whispering, wondering where the other half of the matched set was. The words she screamed at me echoed a conversation from a year ago. A conversation that led directly to this moment. The irony was so thick, I could taste it. I let the perfect, horrible phrase hang in the air for a moment before I served it back to her. It's just a party. It's no big deal, right? Silence. Absolute deafening silence. I think it was the first time in my 28 years of life that I had ever truly left my mother speechless. The seconds stretched on, each one a small victory. I could almost hear the gears grinding in her head, the realization dawning on her. Finally, before she could find her voice again, I delivered the final blow. Tell everyone I said hi, and I hung up. To understand why I would detonate a nuclear bomb in the middle of my family, you have to understand that they handed me the fuse a year ago. My brother, Alex, and I, we weren't just brothers. We were twins. It's a cliché, but for us it was real. We were two sides of the same coin. I was the quiet, nerdy one, always lost in a book or a computer screen. He was the golden boy, the jock, the one who could charm anyone and everyone. But that never mattered. At the end of the day, it was always him and me. We shared a room until we were 16, not because we had to, but because we wanted to. We spent nights whispering secrets across the dark, mapping out our futures. We were a unit. When college came, we finally split. He took a sports scholarship at the local university in Arizona. I took my academic scholarship and ran all the way to Portland, Oregon. I fell in love with it. The rain, the vibrant green, the weird and wonderful people, my friends. It was my home. I built a life there, a career, a network. But I never abandoned my roots. Christmas, Easter, birthdays, random summer visits. I was always the one booking the flight, making the 2-hour trip back to the desert. The expense was always worth it, because they were my family. About a year and a half ago, Alex posted it on Instagram. A picture of my now sister-in-law, Jessica, her hand held up to the camera, a diamond sparkling on her finger. I was ecstatic. I called him immediately, shouting my congratulations. Dude, this is amazing. I love Jessica for you. Thanks, man, he'd said, his voice buzzing with excitement. We're thinking of doing an engagement party in maybe 6, 8 weeks. Nothing too crazy. Awesome, I replied, already opening my airline app. Just give me the date and I'll book my flight. I wouldn't miss it for the world. And that's when things got weird. Weeks went by. I'd text him, hey, any update on that party date? Flights are getting pricier. I'd get a vague reply. Still nailing things down with Jess's parents, I'll let you know. I tried my mom next. Hey mom, any idea when Alex and Jess's party is? I need to request the time off work. Oh honey, they're still working it all out. You know how these things are. She changed the subject so fast I'd get conversational whiplash. Another few weeks passed. It was now well inside the 6-week window. A last-minute flight would cost a fortune. I sent a final, direct text to Alex. Hey, for real, I need the date for the party. Is it happening or not? No response. The text message just sat there, delivered. The silence was louder than any argument we'd ever had. My gut was churning. Something was wrong. I called my mom one last time, my voice tight with a tension I couldn't hide. Mom, I need to know what is going on with this party. Am I invited or not? Mark, it's not really an engagement party. Don't worry about it. They just decided to do a small, intimate dinner with family. Really? There's no need for you to spend all that money to fly down for just a dinner. A small dinner. Okay, it stung, badly. But I tried to rationalize it. Maybe they were trying to save me money. Maybe it really was just parents and siblings. It felt hollow, but it was the only explanation I had, so I let it go. I sent a nice gift to their registry and tried to push the hurt down until my phone buzzed 2 weeks later. It was a text from my aunt, my dad's sister, a woman who had practically been a second mother to me my entire life. It was a photo. Alex and Jessica, beaming, standing in the middle of a beautifully decorated restaurant. Behind them, I could see dozens of faces. My cousins, my other aunts and uncles, old high school friends of Alex's. My parents, raising a glass in a toast. The banner hanging over their heads, read, "Congratulations, Alex and Jessica." My blood ran cold. My aunt's text came a moment later.
So sad you couldn't make it, Mark. We all miss you terribly. Your mom said you were just too swamped with work. Sending our love.
I felt my hands start to shake. An entire restaurant, 80 guests, everyone was there, and everyone was told that I couldn't make time for them. My fingers flew across the screen, my reply to her almost instantaneous. I would have loved to have been there more than anything. I was never invited. The fallout was immediate. My aunt, horrified, clearly started making calls. Word spread like wildfire through the party that I had been deliberately excluded. My phone started blowing up with texts from my parents and Alex. It was all a misunderstanding. It was supposed to be small and just grew. We didn't want you to feel obligated. The lies were pathetic, insulting. I didn't respond to any of them. I just sat there, in my quiet Portland apartment, looking at the photo of my entire family celebrating without me. And I finally understood. The following year was a masterclass in psychological awkwardness. Holidays were unbearable. It was like visiting a house of polite strangers. Every conversation was surface level, sanitized. The giant gaping wound of the engagement party incident was the elephant in the room that everyone but me pretended not to see. I tried to talk to Alex. I asked him if he was mad at me. I asked if Jessica didn't like me. I even asked if he wanted me to apologize for something I didn't know I did. "Dude, it's fine," he'd say, not meeting my eyes. "It was just a party. It's no big deal. Just drop it." The gaslighting was infuriating. My parents were no better. Just a chorus of, "There was a miscommunication," and "Why are you holding on to this?" The nail in the coffin came during a visit for my sister's birthday that May. The mood had been tense all weekend. I was trying. I really was. But my sister Chloe pulled me aside. Her voice was laced with an unfamiliar disdain. "You know, you moving so far away, it's like you're not really family anymore. You just make everything so weird now." That's when it clicked. It wasn't about one party. I had been quietly, methodically written out of the inner circle. My move to Portland wasn't seen as me building a life. It was seen as an abandonment. My absence had become my identity. So, when the save the date arrived 9 months ago, I just stared at it. When the formal wedding invitation arrived 6 months ago, I examined it like a piece of evidence. I, Mark, was invited. Not Mark and his girlfriend of nearly 2 years, Sarah, just Mark. I wasn't asked to be a groomsman, of course. My younger brother was. My sister was a bridesmaid. She got a +1 for her friend with benefits of 3 months. But my long-term partner? Not welcome. I didn't need a sign. They had given me a billboard. I was an obligation, an afterthought. My presence was required for the optics, to maintain the illusion of the happy, complete family for all their friends. They didn't actually want me there. They just wanted a ghost in a suit to fill a chair. So I made my plan. It was simple. I just wouldn't go. I didn't RSVP no, because I knew that would start a drama vortex I didn't have the energy for. I just let the deadline pass. I did nothing. The silence, I figured, was a language my family would understand. The wedding was last weekend. Friday came and went, the day of the rehearsal dinner. My phone remained silent. Not a single person called or texted to ask if I had landed, if I needed a ride, or where I was. Confirmation. I wasn't expected. I wasn't even wanted at the dinner. On Saturday, I spent the day with Sarah. We went for a hike in Forest Park, got amazing ramen for lunch, and just enjoyed the peace. An hour before the ceremony was set to begin, My phone began to vibrate off the hook. It was a chaotic symphony of calls and texts. My dad, my sister, my younger brother. Where are you? Is your flight delayed? Ceremony starts in an hour, dude. I ignored them all. I watched the messages pile up, a sick feeling of validation coiling in my stomach. For about an hour and a half, it went quiet. The ceremony. I imagined them all standing there, Alex at the altar, looking out at the guests, at the empty space where his twin was supposed to be. I wondered if he felt even a sliver of the cold loneliness I had felt for the past year. Then, the storm broke again, this time with a vengeance. That's when my mom called, and I decided it was time to answer. Time to close the loop. After I hung up on her, my phone immediately erupted again. It hasn't really stopped. My dad called and left a fuming voicemail about how I'm a petty, vindictive child who ruined my brother's big day. My sister texted me that I was a selfish asshole and that she'd never forgive me for making her mom cry at the wedding. My brother, Alex, he hasn't reached out at all. Not a word. But I don't feel guilty. I don't feel angry anymore. I just feel quiet. I matched the energy they gave me for a year. They showed me my presence was not required, so I obliged them. They pushed me out, so I stopped trying to break the door down. They dropped their end of the rope, so I let go of mine. They say I ruined the wedding, but from where I'm standing, the wedding was just the final scene of a tragedy they started writing a long, long time ago. So, Reddit. Am I the asshole?